it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making cacti. So this is what I think is a perfect pin cushion, because you can easily put your pins in it, but also I think for someone who can't manage to keep plants, I think it's a nice little jokey present, because they won't have to water these and they will never die. So I have quite a few of those, because although I like plants, I am very good at killing them as well. Okay. Right, so now I have various of these little metal, what do you call them, bowls, baskets, containers. I bought these over the years. The one I'm going to use today is an oval one, so they have various shapes. I bought them in a garden centre, so just keep an eye out for something like this, something similar, or just a little brown pot works just as well, you know, a little brown flower pot. As you can see, I have a stone here in this one, and there is one in there as well. Can you hear it? It's quite heavy, because that way it sort of is quite good. When you put it down, it doesn't fall off. It's not as light as you might think. So I have a stone in the bottom of this one, and also I will be putting some stuffing over that as well. As you can see here, I've got some soil as well, which obviously is yarn. So I have used walnut for that. Okay, so you might just need some brown to create that. What else do you need? I have here the colors of my cacti. So I have lime for this one, and I have meadow for the other one. So you also need stuffing to put into your cacti, of course. So that is that. What else do you need? We have a flower here. And let me just move that to the side and bring this lot in here. I have a selection here of some leftovers. Citron, spice, lipstick, and the one I used here was raspberry. And I also have this one here, which is called saffron. So just various colors. What I like to do for my cacti flower is having a yellow middle, and then another pinky, orangey, whatever, red outside. So we'll look at that later on. That will be for a second video, because obviously I want to explain it well to you, and that would make this video far too long. In this video I am going to show you how to make both cacti and the soil. So I think we're ready to get started. I also used, of course, stitch markers if you want them, needles, your scissors, and here I have my hook, and I like to use a 3.5. The Starcraft Special DK here is prescribed as a 4, but you know I always have to go down. Obviously it doesn't really matter for the cacti. They'll turn out a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, but you know, it depends on how you want your fabric that you are creating, how you want it to turn out. So yeah, maybe it's worth trying it out, or just going for the one that you always use. So let me get rid of these. Those are for the next video. Then here are my technical aids. This here is my pot to plant my cactus in. This one I shall put there as well. Okay, so now what have I done already? I have already created this one here. So this is going to be the taller cacti, and I have already created the soil, because as you can see I am using the same technique for all of it. So I am now going to show you how to do the shorter cactus, and that will be the same for these ones here. Now the soil I have made so it kind of fits over the top of my pot here, and I will just sort of like this, you know, fit it in, make it go in there. Obviously either sew in your ends or hide them. But I am planning on, yeah, you guessed it, using my hot glue gun. Okay, so this is going to be the base of my, that's the base done basically. What am I doing? Trying to get the stuffing in. Okay, so you'll have to repeat what I'm going to show you in a moment in various chain lengths. So I will show you the length that I'm going to use for my shorter cactus, but I will tell you, of course, how much you are going to need for your taller cactus. And here you are just going to have to gauge it, and I chained until it covered this width of my bowl. Okay, so even if you have a plant pot or whatever, make a little square that just fits over the opening, and then just hide the rest with pushing it in like I have done just now. Okay, and the glue gun will come out later on when my cactuses are ready and I can glue them onto there. Okay, so that is that sorted. So remember, you have to make quite a few of these, so for each cactus and for your soil. For the fat short cactus, we are going to do a slip knot, insert your hook, and we are going to chain 10 and 2 for your turning chain. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then keep your finger on the 10th one, and you do 2 more for your turning chain, and then you are going to start with half double crochets in the 4th chain from your hook. So that means in the chain right before your last chain that you did. Okay, so that's your first stitch done and your second stitch. You are now going to do half double crochets all along your line, 1 half double crochet in each chain that you did, and half double crochet is yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. I'm using American terms, so don't get confused. Now for any cacti, I mean, it doesn't really matter how many you chain, but you must remember how many you've done, because you need to do that amount of stitches each row that you do to keep your work nice and straight. So here I'm doing 10 stitches. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10, your turning chain. Here I did 15 chains, so I've got 15 chains all along. If you want your cacti to be taller, you do more. If you want it shorter, you do less. And for the soil here, I mean, obviously it depends on your pot that you are going to put in. I chained from here to here, and I think it was about 20 chains. So, you know, it just measure that on the pot that you are using. As you can see here, I have finished doing this cacti, but I have not cut this off yet, okay? Because there is a reason for that. Obviously, we have to connect both sides. So let's just leave that for now, but go back to our small cacti that we are making. Now you are going to chain 2. If I can hold my hook properly. You turn your work, and that chain 2 is coming out of your last stitch, so that chain 2 counts as your first half double crochet. Okay, so you're going to skip that first stitch, but into the next stitch here, working in the back loops only. So the loop that is facing away from you, or that's furthest away from you, that is what you are going to be picking up. Okay, these are the front loops, these are the back loops. So we are going to do half double crochets, so yarn over, and into the back loop, and you do your half double crochet. So this turning chain here is a stitch. It counts as a stitch coming out of that first stitch there. Make sure you don't forget it. So maybe you need to put a stitch marker in there if you tend to forget that. Then you do a half double crochet in each stitch to the end, and remember you're doing it in the back loop only. Yep, there we go. So each time, if you're prone to losing stitches, what am I doing here? Where is it? Where is the V? There we go. Just count them, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you have the 9th one in that turning chain. So here is my turning chain, and I have to find a stitch to use, and there we are, there's number 10. Okay, so sometimes it's not so clear where you have to go in that turning chain, but you know you've got to do one there, so just find a location to go in. I've chained 2, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to skip, the 4th one I'm going to get started in, and that way I should have straight edges. I should also be creating, because I keep doing back loops only, I should also be creating those sort of ridges that cacti are known for, like you see here. And I am already at the end again, and I am nearly at the end here, just picking up this V there and one in the turning chain. Sometimes you just need to do it with a turned hook so you can just get into that chain there. So we should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 V's on the top of our work there. Now we are going to keep on going until we have done 15 rows. And you need to do an uneven amount of rows before you start your single crochet row, where we are going to put the 2 ends together and turn it into one piece. So as you can see from this piece here, I've got an end here and I have an end there. So both ends are on the same side at the moment. When we have done our single crochet round or row, I'll have one end here and one end there, because that's where you need your ends for finishing your cactus. So I will see you when you have done 15 rows. Here I did 11 rows, okay? And again on the soil, you just have to measure it, you know, on your pot. It doesn't matter how many you do, just as long as it covers your pot, right? So this is 10 stitches, 15 rows. This is 15 stitches, 11 rows. I will see you when you get there. Okay, so I have finished my 15 rows. As you can see, I have finished on the same side as my end. Now we are going to crochet them together. So I will have to do the same one to the other one as well. You are going to chain 1, then turn your work, make sure your yarn is on this side here. Bring your start up and hold it against one another. Then find that leftover loop that you had here from your starting chain. There you go, I'm in. Then here the inner loop of that first stitch there and do a single crochet. Okay, I'll show you better. So we have here the starting chain. I've used 2 of the loops, so I'm going to go into that 3rd loop that was still there. And here we have the V's. I am going to pick up the inner one, or the close one, the front loop, and I do a single crochet. You can also slip stitch them together, but the single crochet then makes for another one of those ridges of our cactus. And you keep doing this, and hopefully you should have 10 stitches on this side to use and 10 on the other. Now if you don't, it's not a problem, obviously. It's only a cactus. It's going to be filled and it's going to be glued onto there, so nobody's going to see if you are missing a stitch. But this is a good exercise if you are a beginner crocheter, to learn to keep the same amount of stitches each round. And I think I am doing reasonably well, and I'm now into my turning chains. There we go. So I should have done 10 stitches. Should I count them? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Ooh, yeah, 10 with the chain. It's fine. Okay, so that has finished this cactus. Cut it off with a bit of yarn to spare. And now basically you are going to have to use a needle, thread it on, and what I do is I just go in and out of those first few sort of loops that you see on those lines. It doesn't really matter if you miss one or you're, but try and do them sort of, at the same space apart. And look, you just pull it together and it becomes a cactus. All right, okay, so that is going to become closed up. What I do then is I might just sew it closed, like so. Okay, not too many times so it doesn't stand out or anything, and then I just go to the middle. There we go. Okay, so that is the top of my cactus. I'm getting confused now with singular and plural. Oh my word. Stop talking and start stuffing. Okay, so that's this one done. Look how cute. And I'm going to put that on there as like such. Okay, let's now finish this one as well. Same thing. You chain, bring up the middle. Now you've got to, I don't know, is there an inside, is there an outside? Just choose the look that you like best, basically. I don't think there is much difference. And you find that first chain there and you do your single crochet. So this time there are a few more stitches to do, and my cactus will be taller and slimmer than the previous one. So yeah, this is, like I said, it's a nice thing to make. You could make it as a pincushion, to just put a few pins in it to give it as a present, even for yourself, or you could make it as a jokey present for someone who's very good at not keeping plants alive, because of course these plants will last forever. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna finish this with the right amount of stitches at the end here. I don't think I've missed any, or have I? Oh, it doesn't really matter. Just, whatever. Looks fine. There is a flower that we are going to be putting on this. So the flower is for the next video. And yeah, shall I get out my hot glue gun for the next video as well, so you can see how I put it all together. Okay, so once again, we have our tube here ready to close it up and stuff it. So same thing again, sort of in and out of a couple of loops. There we go. Try not to stick it in your fingers. And once you think you've gone round, just pull it gently. And I do a couple of sort of, you know, sewing stitches just to set the wool, the yarn, and then put it in. No, not this one. Pull that one. There we go. And that's the top of that cacti. So this one is, as you can see, taller, and try with your stuffing not to put too much in, because obviously you might stretch it, because you do want, you know, a different shape from before. So it doesn't need much stuffing at all, but there you go. And that's our second cacti. So they are ready to be put in their pot, planted in their pot with hot glue gun and a flower put on top. So we will do that in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.